You know, it makes no sense. What's up, YouTube? BigH Trucking. I haven't done a video in a minute, and it feels like honestly, this is the 6th time I'm trying to record this video, and I keep on losing my train of thought. And is it because of my age, or is it because I just have so many things to say but are not relevant to what I want to say that I put it in there and it just starts going off on a tangent? Well, I just came from the track. I'm at a high school behind that green fence with all the. You can see the stadium there. I just walked and ran 4.5 miles. But I want to talk about the end of lease and my experience with it and my final monies. I think anybody who's, in Prime's leasing program kind of wants to know and what the process was. It's very simple. If you know that my suggestion is this: if you know your lease is coming up, I would say 90 to 120 days, and you're looking to either lease another truck or do what I did, ace lease. And if you don't want to do one of those two things and move on, and that's not for you. But I would say about 120 days out, contact Success Leasing. Try to get an exact date, like when your lease is up. It's supposedly 6 months from the end of your lease, they're supposed to contact you. Well, yes and no. Somehow the database got messed up. I was talking to a gal, and some of your emails go out, some don't. So what I did was, I wasn't hearing anything. I was about this was May. So you know what? I should just call Success Leasing and find out what's going on. So I was told, I'm thinking September is when I got into the truck 3 years ago. I'm thinking September 4th, 3rd, 4th, whatever that day was my anniversary, and that's when my lease was up. But unbeknownst to me, because I did get this truck with 5,000 miles on it, that the lease goes from the time the first person got in it, complete the lease is 3 years from there, which turned out to be August 7th. So in May I find out that it's in August. I'm like, oh man, June, July, August. Wow, I want to order a truck. And she's like, well, you better get your order in ASAP. She goes, the good news is that the trucks are being built a little faster, because the supply chain issues seem to have been resolved. So there's a good possibility that you can get your truck. The worst case scenario is that I would have to lease another truck short term, because what I don't want to do is exceed the 59 days. I've worked 4 years with Prime. Coming up in January will be 4 years. Technically speaking, there's a really high probability I may stay with Prime, which was my initial goal, was 10 years. I said, if I can make it the first year and I really enjoy it, then I'm going to spend the 10 years, which takes me to about retirement age of 65, 66. Well, I don't want to lose, going back, after 59 days, you lose all the years that you accrued, and you have to start all over from zero, and that's your benefits. So that's rewards and retention, R&R they call it. And I don't want to do that. So we discussed that, and she's like, well, worst case scenario, the truck's not in by, because now I got to October 4th to be dispatched on a load within that window of 59 days. If not, then again, I start from zero. So she's like, well, trucks seem to be about 4-month turnaround time, yada, yada, yada. Again, worst case scenario is that you'll lease a truck for a week or two, whatever the case may be, just to keep your days rolling. Fair enough. So I've got until October 4th for my truck not only come in, but go through Prime shop, get the lettering, get the powder coating, APU, the whole 9 yards, and be on my way driving down the road. Well, we're only at August 20th. I talked to Dustin at Stripes and Stuff, and truck should be here second week of September, which is roughly about 3 weeks, 4 weeks away, a month. So until that time comes, I'm enjoying myself. But anyway, let me get back to what I was saying, because I'm already 5-6 minutes into this video. My experience with the end of the lease was absolutely flawless, seamless. Couldn't ask for a better outcome. My outcome was based on loaded miles, tire fund, and my loaded miles came out to 306,000 miles. My actual miles were 348,000 miles. So you can see there's a huge discrepancy between what you get paid for and what you're for free. What you're paying for. I'm paying for 40,000 miles with fuel, wear and tear. And I don't take my truck home. I leave it at the terminal. So when I go home, normally I get a load going to Pennsylvania, somewhere within 100 miles or so of Pittston, and return my truck, like I said, to the terminal, sit there and go home and come back and rinse and repeat. So based on those numbers, based on my tire fund, my total compensation due to me or coming to me because I completed my contract with the lease was $18,233.00. Beautiful, ecstatic. Now out of that $18,000, they're going to take monies that your truck needs repairs. If your truck comes back, and most trucks do come back, not one truck. I've talked to a couple people that were doing the inspection. No one brings back a flawless truck. And if it is, he's like, I haven't seen it yet. Because, it's wear and tear. It's 3 years on the highways of this country. All kinds of weather. So things are going to happen. Like, I don't know if you saw one of my videos where a car literally spun out in front of me, kicked something up, hit the top of the sleeper, and because of that, I have to pay. Wasn't much, but anyway. So all the deductions from the $18,000 came out to about 21 and change. So what was owed to me, or what was given to me, was $16,661 and cents. That's after all the repairs that the truck needed. Not bad. I'll take it. In my eyes, it's found money. And that's the way you should all look at it if you complete your lease. It's found money, and it's not chump change. It's actual real good money. You can do a lot of things with $16,000, and the more miles you make, especially if you're a trainer or your husband and wife team, the more miles you accrued in that 3 years, the more money you're going to get. I don't know what the formula is, but it is what it is. I get my settlement today. She said, yeah, you're going to get paid. It's going to be on tomorrow's check, on tomorrow's settlement. So I get the settlement, and like the first page, you see your gross. And my gross was $16,100 and some odd dollars. Now, it does say in the header of the paperwork that I received yesterday from my end of lease, that any monies outside of truck repairs that are owed are going to be deducted, which is all fine and dandy, but that first number should be what you told me, and then minus out the tolls and whatever else was left over. So I was like, all right, let me just go through it and read it. Long story short, I ended up putting, they were giving me $14,169 into my account. That's what was going into my account. Again, found money. Love it. There's a mistake somewhere. So I start going through the settlement, and I notice a charge of $1,794 and some odd cents. And I noticed it twice. And I noticed it had the same code. Sure enough, I sent Leslie an email. The best way to correspond to anybody in Success Leasing or outside of that is email. They seem to respond instantaneously. I tried the calling bit. That doesn't go so well. But again, I emailed. Next thing I know, I get a phone call. She's like, hey, listen, thank you for bringing that up. I totally apologize. Yes, you were charged twice. I'm making good on it. I'm making the correction. It'll be on next week's check. Thank you very much. So with that being said, that brings me to my $16,000 that I was owed, plus the settlement from the detail end of it. Again, great bunch of people. Chelsea, Leslie, if you ever come by and watch this long, boring video, I really appreciate your how fast you got back to me. I really means a lot. So, totally happy, totally satisfied, and so that's what you're going to be expecting. Anyone who completes a lease, the more miles you make, the loaded miles you make, the more money you're going to get back. So that goes back to try not to turn down loads. Like, I don't turn down loads. I know it's a, if you're not getting 15 miles, $15 a mile. You hear what kind of YouTube is, $3.50 a mile, $2.50 a mile. Some of these guys make me laugh because every load they seem to get is like superstar money. And we both know that's not the reality. So I don't know why people have to exaggerate, but they do, and I guess it brings views, and that's what's important. Believe me when I tell you, truck driving is first. Making these videos is a long distance away from even second. I do it just because I feel like I'm vlogging my journey. This is my journey with Brian. But anyway, I don't turn down loads. You want to sit there, you want to turn down loads and wait for the $5 a mile. You do that, that's your prerogative, but you're certainly not building a great relationship with your fleet manager. And if you don't think it goes against you, it does, because I had a long conversation with my fleet manager at the end of the lease dinner. I'm not going to get specific, but yes, your name becomes something. When something good comes up, they'll bypass you, put it that way. Is that fair? Is it fair that someone sends you some work and you turn it down because it doesn't fit your criteria? The only time you turn down any type of work, I believe, is if you don't have enough time. You can't do the work in the allotted time that's there. But just to turn down a load because it's snowing, you don't want to go into the northwest, or it's raining and you don't want to go down into the rain, or it's windy, or that's not fulfilling your job title as a truck driver. But anyway, that's not my business, that's your business. I don't run my business like that. I take every load. I mean, I try to make sure that my minimum, I don't look at miles, cents per mile. I look at what my load is, how much money my truck is grossing daily. I like to keep it around 500 and then obviously more per day with my truck. That's what I figured out to be profitable. Anything less than 500 a day is, again, it sucks, but I take it because I know that my fleet manager is going to put me into a good spot. I can't recall if I ever got a back-to-back load that sucked. No, I can't recall. That's probably happened. But anyway, my message is this. Prime's a good company. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. They'll even tell you that. But Jesus Christ, what place are you going to go to that trains you, has brand new equipment, has options for you to either be company, lease, or you can even start and buy your own truck and then create more trucks and build a business within the business. Name me a company, because personally, I don't know of any truck company. You lease a truck, you hand back the keys, and they give you thousands of dollars back in your pocket, thanking you for doing your job, completing your contract. So, but again, OTR is not for every person, right? It works for me, it works for my lifestyle. It's perfect for me. It may not be perfect for anyone watching this. How many people make it out of a class? One out of, I don't know if there's 10. What's the rate? 10% of people stay behind. There's 90% of them fail. Some classes better than other classes, but there's a heavy turnaround in these mega companies, because it's not for everybody. Again, Prime fits me. The people that I've come across at Prime have been honest, straightforward, and haven't BS'd me about anything that pertains to my business. So with that being said, I am really thrilled that I got the money that I got. It's found money. And I can't believe 3 years is over with. And we're on to the next chapter of me owning my truck. But hey, listen, it's real. That end of lease bonus is a real thing. It's thousands and thousands of dollars. And it could really change. It could be life-changing money for some people. You know, it could be the difference of a lot of things. I'm not going to get down that path, but hey, listen, when you bring home 16 grand, when I bring home 16 grand, it doesn't bother, it's not hitting me as hard as it did somebody else, because again, I come from a different world, and that's just adding to my pile. But for some people, that could be down payments on a house, down payments on trucks, down payments on a car. It could be a child's education at a private school. I mean, you can do a hell of a lot of money with that 16 grand. And that's just my take. So, you know, others could be a hell of a lot more. But again, just to finish this video up, the more money, the more loads you run, the more miles you make, the more money you'll get at the end of 3 years. If that's not an incentive to work hard, I don't know. You know, you're like, oh my God, 3 years is like forever. No, it's not. 3 years went like that. And that's why I chose to go to the next step and stay with Prime another, few years, is because I just, 3 years just vanished in a heartbeat. Next thing I know, I'm going to be getting the title and the keys to my truck. So, and you can do the same. So hey, listen, continued success to anybody who's watching, anybody who's at Prime. The harder you work, I mean, it's proven throughout the course of my career, the harder I worked, the more doors that opened, the more profitable I became. So take it the way you want. I hope you take it and run with it, because it's the truth. The harder you work at Prime, the more money goes into your pocket. And if you have a good accountant, I'm not talking about the W-2 side, but if you have a good accountant, on the 1099 side, you're a contractor, you have a hell of a lot of write-offs as an owner-operator. So, as a W-2 employee, you don't get many write-offs, but as a 1099 contractor, you write everything off. Your decision, the ball's in your court. You do what you got to do. I know what I'm doing. I'm totally ecstatic, and I couldn't thank Prime enough for giving me the opportunity to complete my end of my lease, get the money that I'm getting, and jumping in a brand new truck. In a brand new truck with no money down out. Well, I'm sorry, there is some money down out of my pocket, but I don't have to come up with 50 grand and credit checks and run to 5 different banks looking for financing in a time, in a day and age when the market conditions in this country are not that good. Yeah, the economy's okay, but there's a lot of businesses that are hurting. Banks not really want to lend money. So, Prime, how the hell can how can you say anything bad about Prime? Look at their opening. They're giving me an opportunity, and hundreds and thousands of others, to create wealth. Prime makes more money. Prime ain't got to do nothing. Prime does everything. If the taxes, take care of all your permits, your insurances, and the most important thing is they made connections, which becomes customers, which becomes contracted freight, and which we pull. So if it wasn't for Prime and you had your own truck, yeah, you're going to be scouring the load boards, and good luck with that. So I'd rather take Prime's contract freight develop a relationship with my fleet manager, let him or her figure out that the person on the other end of the Qualcomm is responsible, reliable, and not a pain in the butt. And there's no favoritism. But he knows that anything that he gives me, even if I break down, I will communicate with the guy. But more than likely, if I give Henry a load, he's going to get it there on time and safe, because I've proven my weight, my worth. So if you prove your worth to your fleet manager, he's going to keep you busy. I mean, that's just the way it is in life. The more reliable you are, the more useful you are. So I'm going off on a tangent. This is why I've done 5 different takes. Anyway, I'm out of here. I'm out. Going home to take a shower. Pick up my girl. We're going to the ocean, to a tiki bar, club / restaurant. Chill, hang out, watch the waves, watch the sunset. And this is all made possible because of Prime. Peace out.